any advice, general, specific, take it any way you want, on how to distinguish between some of these things that we feel like we have to force, things that we have to do, or things that maybe it's going to take some courage to set off to the side and, handle later?
It's helpful to set a time period when you're going to revisit it, because then it doesn't feel as angsty, like, oh, I'm ignoring this, elephant in the room. If you can set yourself a time frame that's maybe based on another action that's going to happen. For example, we know that our selections process right now, where clients pick their finished materials, not a great part of our flow. Like it's kind of clunky. There's lots of things we could be fixing there. The exact answer is still not clear to us, but partly because there's other projects in flux. We're working on some 3D modeling software that's going to allow clients to see their floor plan in 3D and actually see the finishes and all that. So we've intentionally said we're going to live with this broken process until we have more input from that also very important project that will totally influence our decision there. So if you can delay it to a specific point in time when you have fresh information, that can also help it feel less like you're just ignoring it. Then it's more intentional, to use your word from earlier.
That helps me think through what we're doing. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking of, leaders' responsibility has to illuminate the path. Where are we going and why? And if there are steps along that journey, and say, listen, we've got this, and this, we're going to prioritize these initiatives, and we expect them to take these many months or years, you can also communicate this with customers and say, listen, this part of it, it's not going to be great. Here's what we do, and this is how we also ended up with, and we have great testimonials from these people who are on our website. So it's not that we don't know what we're doing. I'm also going to be upfront with you that, hey, we're going to have to kind of work through this in a little bit more of an analog version. So I think that's a great kind of first step of, as a leader, are we really articulating when we are going to go revisit that? So that's helpful for me.
And I want to build on what you just said, Bradley, about kind of owning those gaps and getting ahead of that with your clients. That was something that we weren't necessarily doing before. We would almost try not to interact because we didn't want to poke the bear and then have them ask other questions. And it's sort of like your point about transparency, where it's like, you know what, put the pricing out there. You know what, let's put our mistakes out there and tell the client that, to what to expect in this delay and why. Because at least then it looks like we know what's going on. We're building some credibility and trust. And you can get it right. But the more you're hiding information or just being opaque, it just raises more, honestly, that raises more questions than just putting the reality out there. So we're sort of shifting our mindset on that to kind of offer even more transparency to clients.